Good morning, welcome to Smart Carping. We're here today at Thorpe Lea Fishery. I've got young Myles with me today. Myles has expressed an interest in baiting his swim, and what we're going to do is to show how to spot a swim accurately, showing you spod rods, spods, reels, lines and spod setups, and then alternatives to spotting, neat ways of introducing ground bait balls, PVA balls, and accurate bait placement with some neat PVA systems that we've got.
Okay, so I see you've got 3 different rods and 3 different reels for the same sort of job. What's the difference between them all?
Good point, Myles. What I've got here in front of us is 3 different price brackets of currently commercially available spod rod setup. The first one I've got here is a £140 set. This is a Chubb Outcast spod rod coupled with a Shimano XSA 8000. You may notice on all of them that I've got big pit reels. The reason I use these big reels, which are bigger than maybe say your standard bait runner reel that you'd have on your carp rod, is because all of these rods need to be able to cast as far as you can with your carp rods. So if you're ranging a comfortable 90 to 110 yards with your carp rods, these spod rods need to achieve the same sort of range. Now the spod rod looks just like your carp rod. It's 12 foot long in this case. It's got the same 6-ring eye pattern, 40mm down to 12, but it will have a test curve of about 5.5 pounds, and the test curve is the rod's ability to cast the heavy fully loaded spod on the end, which can weigh anything up to 7 ounces. The reel needs to be a low geared, smooth winding reel so that you can retrieve a spod that's ploughing, i.e. not planing on the surface, it's coming in with a lot of load. I use very fine braid on this. This is £30, and although the braid sounds quite heavy at £30, because it's braid, it's very fine. So it's approximately the same diameter as 8-pound mono, so very fine. And that fineness can create a problem with the braid cutting our fingers as we cast. So we do 2 things to prevent that. Firstly, we use a 45 to 50-pound braided leader, which is very large, which protects our fingers. And secondly, we use a casting glove, and we'll show you that later. Now this setup will comfortably cast up to 100 and 110 yards all day long with a good casting technique. But if you want to go a step further, then we've got the grey spod. Again, another 12-foot rod, 5-pound test curve, yet again to cope with the heavy spods. 45-pound leader like we have on the other one, 30-pound braid, but you'll notice a slightly different reel. This one is a reel by Daiwa called an Emblem spod reel, specifically designed for spodding. It's got slightly higher gearing than the Shimano. It's also got 2 line clips on the side of the spool, one there and one on the other side, which means that you can set this up and clip it up to 2 different spots. The spool is also slightly larger in diameter, which allows the line to come off more freely, which means you can get longer range with this setup. If you were fortunate enough and skilled enough to be able to fish at extreme ranges, then you need to step up again. And this commercially available Gray's distance spod, 12'6", is a real poker of a spod rod. Has a test curve of in excess of 6 pound. Same ring pattern as before, as we expressed, 40mm going down to a 12mm tip ring. 45-pound braided leader, 30-pound main line, Emblem spod again. But because we're looking for extreme range, we're using the Corda Sky Raider spod, which is again specifically designed for long range fishing. So these would be the classic tools for the job. Price breaks, £140 for this setup. 220, 230 for this setup, 240, 260 for this setup. So a price break for every purse. We've seen the rods. Should we go and have a play with them and see what we can do with them?
Yep.
Let's go and do that thing.
So Ian, when I've been spodding in the past, I've always found that I got very tired quickly. How can I prevent this?
I think what you'll find, Myles, is that a lot of people set themselves up in a very haphazard way, and the way they spod means that there's a lot of movement, a lot of physical movement backwards and forwards as they load and unload the spod and retrieve the spod, which makes spodding very tiring. What we need to do is to create a comfortable, easy to use spodding platform to minimise all that unnecessary torso body movement. Most people, the first thing they would do is the spod will be out in the water, they'd retrieve the spod and they'd retrieve the spod short. At this point you either have to disengage the anti-reverse and lower the reel down, or what a lot of people do is just lower the rod down out of the way, grab the spod, bring the rod down, putting it on the floor, which is one of my pet hates, and then use two hands to load the spod. When they've got it to their fill point, they've then got to stand up, gather the rod, get the correct drop on the spod and launch it to the lake. A lot of body movements up and down, a lot of letting go and picking up of the rod, far too many excessive movements. Right, Myles, now what we've done, we've set ourselves up with a spodding station. This is no more than a few of the buckets we've brought with us to the lake with our dry ingredients in, set up so that everything is at waist height. What we can do now, we can dramatically improve our loading procedure. So the first thing to take into consideration is not to bring the spod in short, have a long drop so that you've got the spod to hand and everything is comfortable. Hold the spod by the fins and use the spod as a shovel until you get the spod filled to the point where you want it. Now use your thumb to compress it. It's 2/3 full. The only debris we've got on our fingers is a small amount of spod mix, which then can be cleaned in the dipping bucket on the left and wiped dry with the towel we've got on the rail on the back of the bucket. Now we can stand up and spod to our heart's content with hardly any body movement. Everything is kept to a minimum and a great deal of efficiency is gained with just these few simple buckets.